Hi, this is Kim from Emerging Creatively Tutorials, and today I'm going to show you how to wire wrap a side drilled bead. I am using this little flower bead, and it's drilled across the top. So instead of going up and down, it's across. That's what side drilled means. And I will be using 22 gauge half hard wire. You can use whatever wire will fit through the hole of your side drilled beads. 20 gauge does not fit through the hole in this circumstance, or otherwise I probably would use 20 gauge, but I'm using 22 gauge. You will need wire cutters. You'll need round nose pliers and chain nose pliers in addition to the wire and the bead. So I'm going to start by cutting 6 inches of wire. This is the 22 gauge wire, and depending on the size of your bead, you might need more wire than that. As you can see, this is just a little bead, so it doesn't take a ton of wire. If you have a large bead, you might need a little bit more. So I just slid the bead onto the wire, and so now you can see it's side drilled. And then I'm just centering it on the wire. And now we're just going to cross the 2 wires across each other, and we're going to have them cross right at the top of this bead, right in the center, and then just twist it 1 time. In fact, I just twist it half a time. So not even all the way around. If you feel more secure, you can go all the way around. And now I'm going to grab my round nose pliers. I have a tip for using round nose pliers for making all of your wire wrapped loops the same size throughout your project. Just take a Sharpie and make a mark on your round nose pliers. It doesn't really matter where you put the mark, just as long as you use it throughout your project so all your loops are the same. The Sharpie will not be permanent on your pliers. It will wear off eventually. So you have to redo it quite often, but it's helpful when you're making a project and you want all your loops to be the same. So now hold one of the wires in your round nose pliers, and you're going to hold it just above where you just made that twist, and you're going to pull the wire around your round nose pliers, forming a loop. And then take your round nose pliers out and grab your chain nose pliers. And now if this loop is crooked, we want it straight above the bead, so we can just fix that. How I do it is I hold the loop in my chain nose pliers, I wrap around once, and as I'm doing that, I just straighten out the bead part underneath and make sure it's straight. So now I'm just going to switch hands and wrap with my other hand. If you feel more comfortable, you could use another pair of pliers. And I'm just going to start wrapping around, and I'm just very carefully wrapping each wrap under the first one, because I want to wrap also around the very top of this bead because of the shape of the bead. And as it gets a little shorter, I'm just going to grab my bent nose pliers to make the final wrap. And now with this other wire, we're just going to go around. Usually it goes in the other direction, but you can kind of go whichever way the wire kind of wants you to go, if that makes sense. It will make sense when you're actually doing it, probably. And just go over top, again, very carefully around. You could even just kind of do this by hand without holding it in your pliers, and just go around. And now we're just going to trim off the excess wire, making a flush cut. So that's using the back of your wire cutters, the flat side, just trimming off the excess wire. And now I'm just using my chain nose pliers to make sure the ends are not poking out. And just make sure everything is straight. So make sure this loop is straight over top. Sometimes it gets a little crooked. And that is all there is to it.